Hello, welcome to Timeless Conversations, a channel where we talk about life and adulting,
The ups
the downs,
and everything in between. If you're new here, my name is Robinah.
My name is Aisha. And my name is Sharon. This week we're going to be talking about whether or not to go back to your ex. Would you? Would you not? Let us know. For ladies, what do you think?
I think the conversation of going back to your ex should be centered on what was the reason for the breakup.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, how was the breakup? Some breakups are really violent. You know, there was a lot of exchanges in terms of words, blows. So, definitely, you don't want to think about something like that. If it was not something like non-violent.
What if they just ghosted you?
Uh-huh. Now the ghosting is even worse than the blows.
Yeah.
Because at least if you give me blows, I will understand. You were angry, you did control your emotions, something sparked you off.
But if someone ghosts you, like,
Yeah.
you don't even know why you broke up.
I know. I feel like ghosting is emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And it is.
Of the highest order.
And it's for cowards. You don't want to marry a coward or get into a relationship, because by the time someone does not have the guts to explain as an adult, because we are consenting adults, we understand, we are able to take in whatever information you're going to give. If you found up another person, sit me down and tell me, Aisha, I got someone better. You couldn't measure up here and there, so that I also use that information to get you replace me. Hey. Hey. But if you ghost me, I keep on wondering what happened. Like, you keep on getting this insufficiency. Like, what was inadequate on me? What exactly did I do wrong? And yet sometimes it's not even you. It's on the other person.
On the contrary, I would understand someone who goes back to their ex. For example, starting over is hard, guys. This person, you already know them, you've been in a relationship with them, and maybe the breakup was not due to a very big issue, of which you think it over again, and you feel like you were so much emotionally invested in this relationship that you would, like, you don't want to lose and go and start over again, So I would understand someone who chooses to go back to their ex because they were heavily invested in the relationship, and probably the reason for the breakup was trivial. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I agree. If I want to believe that for most relationships, at some point they probably, should I say, paused it. I want to call it calling it quits. And for one reason or another, maybe they paused the relationship, and after some reflection, both parties feel like, what, I think I would rather have you than lose you, because there's more to gain than what you would lose if you lost the person. Like, if it's that case, then yes, I would definitely also consider, going back to my ex.
Man, I don't know why I feel like the pool is wide. Pool is wide. Why do you go back to someone you've had before? You want to experience other humans. Like,
better the devil, like it's not the devil, but that saying, better the devil,
I know that saying, but when you go to the devil, when God is there also. Good things are happening out there. Like, if you tie yourself to a human, and let me tell you, the reason why I thought I don't believe in going back to exes. A man will, okay, let me give you this example that is well known to all of us, maids. When a maid goes and you beg them to come back, they will show you fire.
They'll come back a different person.
Exactly. So that is how I relate it. I just want to believe, however trivial, however serious the situation was, they say is it a hyena or a leopard? The one that has spots. Which one is that?
They both
Do that they don't change their spots.
and you
So what I mean is, if
Like
you're
their
born with
behavior won't
spots,
really change. Yeah.
you will forever have those spots. Change behavior might be temporary, and that is going to cause you more heartache. So why then do you go back to this person?
Well, maybe it's not really about the person changing, but really, should I say,
Reflection.
you reflecting on the situation and realizing that, you know what? I mean, like she said earlier, it was a trivial reason as to why we even broke up. Yeah? Like maybe you were not calling me enough, but why are you
People are
calling?
busy also.
You know, why are you calling? You know, sometimes it's so much one-sided, like you break up because of one-sided reasons. But when you actually go back and think about it,
And you're mature now.
yeah, and you're mature
to
enough,
analyze certain things.
sometimes also you don't maybe it was a communication gap, like you didn't fully communicate your dissatisfaction on what's going on. For example, like what you've given about calling, you didn't communicate to this person that you don't call me enough, like you don't communicate your desires to this person so that they can love you the best way you want to be loved, right? So what if the reason was you didn't actually communicate, and you reflect on what happened and you realize that maybe if I had communicated, this relationship would have moved in a different direction. Yeah, so I think it's worth trying. I wouldn't blame someone for trying to mend things in case they realize what the mistake was in the relationship.
Yeah, I hear you. I just have another perspective that I see it in. You know, like in our culture, it is widely believed that you would rather have one stupid man to have all his stupid children than sample 10 stupid men and have 10 stupid children from different genes, right? I think people go back to their exes because of that, of like, I want to have all my kids in one man.
That's a very terrible.
It is a terrible choice, but so many people actually are doing it because of culture. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Haven't you heard about it?
I've actually never heard of that. It's my first time.
Like,
Oh,
they
some people
tell
are
you.
staying in toxic marriages or toxic relationships because they already had children with this person and they don't want to go and have children elsewhere with some other person. You get?
I don't think that would be
Good enough.
a good reason for even a marriage to happen. I mean, yes, they happen, but it's children is not the best reason to get into a marriage.
I totally.
We're talking about before.
I know.
Before having kids. But now you have already had kids with this man.
Even then.
Yeah, but it happens, and people use it so much because you see, they say that it's omwana takulo. You understand? Like, okay, that is loosely translated, but to mean you should never give birth one child
from
in one clan. So you'd rather have one more child with a wrong man. Yes.
No, I think
Okay. What it means is you can't have just one child.
from
Yes.
that wrong one.
So if you had broken up, you come and finish what you started.
I don't think that's really a good reason for you to go back to your ex. Honestly.
I also don't believe in it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
But just maybe to add, like I said, I don't believe in those things of going back to your exes. It's not worth it. Reason being, regardless of how trivial it was in the beginning, if this man broke you in the first place, if he comes back, he will just finish you.
I mean, true. on that sense, I would agree with Aisha. And it goes back to the first point that you made. I agree with you on that point, whereby, I mean, like what you said at first, what's the reason as to why you broke up in the first place? I do not encourage someone to go back in an abusive relationship. I mean, if the reasons for why you broke up in the first place are so significant that, you know, your life is at stake and all that, then honestly, do not go back. But if it's trivial reasons of communication, you know, honestly, I mean, in relationships, we've all been in relationships, and we must confess that there are times where we honestly make decisions and you even laugh at yourself when you look back and you're like, but honestly, like I could have done
was
better.
dumb.
You know, I could have contributed better to this relationship while we were dating, yeah? So if it's a trivial reason, then yes, rethink it and go back. But if it's something that, you know, affects your mental health, then don't. So don't, yeah.
I also don't believe in going back to your ex. However, there are some situations that that I would understand and let pass. For example, if someone had, the reason for your breakup is because of like some trauma, that maybe a childhood trauma that someone went through and is causing them to react a certain way, and they decide to go to therapy and get help, and they reach out to you and want and acknowledge that this is the reason, like I did some inner work and this is the reason why I behaved the way I did.
Seriously.
Yes. And they did the inner work for themselves, and they reach out to you and they're like this, like they explain themselves to you, acknowledge that this was a problem and this is what I'm doing to solve it, and they still want to build something with you. Me, I would encourage you to jump on it because they've realized the problem and they're doing something about it. Yeah, probably they're going to therapy and
You know why I'm
healing
laughing?
and stuff like that.
I've realized these days people use therapy to get away with serious situations.
How so?
Someone will do you dirty, come and tell you that I went for therapy. And then you'll have to give them a chance, right? In the moment you give them a chance, they will show you exactly why they went for therapy. So you don't want to put yourself in that situation. Just stay clear. How many times are you going to walk out? You walk out and go in, walk out and like you just stay
Everyone
away.
deserves a second chance, right? And I remember there's a tweet I saw whereby some gentleman posted and said that, you know, he apologized to all the women that he dated before therapy.
Oh yeah,
Because
I do
apparently,
remember seeing that.
yeah.
At that time,
But then I also saw a tweet recently about a man who posted, it's not recent probably, but one of his own tweets where he was saying that men don't go for therapy. That real men don't go for therapy. And
I think I know the person who tweeted that.
No, and I disagree,
Don't
yes.
tell me that.
And I honestly think that, I mean, everyone needs help. It should not be restricted to a gender.
Absolutely.
So, like I was saying, everyone deserves a second chance. So if the person
Is doing
has
work.
shown that, you know, like you always say, it's all about the work. If the work is not really coming out, then yeah, you know, it's a lost cause and not that chance, yeah. Because remember, we're saying that it has to be something that, you know, you feel like, I mean, I have more to gain than to lose. Yeah, so.
I think for me, my threshold for giving a second chance would be based on how you're doing. Like right now, if you're doing better than you were doing then I would know that, oh, you've been working on yourself. You know, if you were a dropout then, now you have gone back to school. We've been putting in some effort, and I can give you a second chance then. But also, these second chances should not just be thrown around.
Of course not.
You evaluate.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you also have to set boundaries. Very critical boundaries. If you ever decide to go back with your ex, set boundaries and clear boundaries that you evaluate every now and then, and also communicate, like, I feel like you crossed this boundary of mine. I feel like you crossed this thing that we said we are not going to cross, right?
Yeah.
So that you are continuously evaluating yourself. And I feel like if you do that, and if you like take back someone who has done the inner work, I feel like the new relationship becomes even much better. Of he's in a better place, you're in a better place, you've all done self-reflection and you know exactly what transpired, you know how you contributed to it, and now you are starting on a clean and better slate, you get.
But of course that doesn't mean that there will be no conflict.
Of course not.
Yes.
There's always conflict.
I was about to bring in that perspective.
It will definitely be there. I mean, yes, it's possible that they may even make the same mistake, but
how
yes, how it's handled is what should make the difference. Yeah.
I hear you, but I'm also seeing it quite differently. You see, when someone has just come back, or whether there's the conflicts are, on a higher magnitude, I think you might be a little more critical.
Exactly.
You know when someone has done you dirty before, yeah?
Your guard is
Up there, you've built your world so high,
Exactly.
and now you're letting them in, but on conditions. The condition is you must be better.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And now because you already have that
background.
Your heart is even scarred.
Yeah.
Now you want to safeguard yourself, which is okay.
Yeah.
But because of that criticalness, even the smaller things
True.
that you would let pass in a new relationship, you know that you would make a big deal out of them.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't know. Because I just feel like now you have to put in more work for this to happen.
So allow room for grace, extend grace,
Yeah.
not be too critical if indeed you make the decision to actually give this person a second chance. Yeah.
Yeah, the gracefulness is very important.
Sometimes you are actually compatible, and losing you has made this person realize how special you are, and they've reflected and known that this relationship actually meant the world to me. But because of the small differences that tore you apart, the relationship probably ended or like was paused and stuff like that. So they reflect and are willing to try and make it work, because losing you has awakened
Why they
them to the reality that you are different.
Why they reflect? Watch. I just news flash. They don't reflect. They just go out there and find
They fail to find the
more
good
weird
side.
people.
Than you are.
Yes, they just find people that really mistreat them. Because it is often said that people take for granted what is in
What they
hand.
have.
So when they go there, there are some crazy women out there. And I think that is how they find out. Not that they realized, oh, we are compatible. How did they realize that? By finding non-compatible people.
Yeah, and now they want the person they are compatible with.
You
they
see how you end
realized
up
that
being a
they
second
left
choice.
what was better. No, not second choice, but the best
Backup.
choice. Best choice.
Best backup.
Best choice, because
Best
they went out
choice.
there and found you.
Now let me ask you, when you go back to this person, how do you explain to people? Because when you break up, you first go, you change your Facebook status. It's
see.
complicated. After like 2 months, you change to single. You go to your status on WhatsApp, men are dogs. And then you mention, my particular dog is A, B, C, the name.
Those are your
And then
problems.
you tell your friends, then your friends ask you, how is this guy? Man, never mind that. All of a sudden you're like, I'm thinking, how do you explain to people?
Well,
How do you tell your young siblings? Okay.
why would you even break up in such a way? I mean, let's have some
What if the maturity is
some
not there?
maturity. Like if you
The
call
maturity
it,
is
I was
not
going to
there.
call it something else, but let's go with maturity. Like have some maturity even as you're disagreeing and breaking up. I mean,
That's key.
yeah, because that should make it easy even when you're going back. And you won't even have to explain yourself.
Yeah, that time,
okay, even
when you're breaking up, you don't know if you will go back.
But I feel like, why are you making your relationship that public? That is saying too much.
No, these are your accountability partners. You have been taking with them along through the relationship. You post your nice things. Hey, wait. You have not seen those couples. You've seen those social media couples that are all picture perfect. They always update us. Oh, we are going on this vacation. He took me out, bought me flowers. Those nice things.
You created the problems. Now solve them.
That is where I'm
fine.
going.
So that's why if you're those people, swallow your pride.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
swallow your pride and still go back to your man.
And
No.
explain also, because now you created
And
the
they
problem.
do, by the way, they do those social media.
Why you
Like,
have
one
to
day
explain to
they're
your
not
social
together,
media in-laws?
the social
Yeah.
media in-laws.
You explain to them.
One day they're not together, the next day they're together. I mean, just like they're back together. It's their business at the end of the day. But I mean, ultimately, I don't think you need to care so much about what
People say.
people say about your relationship because it's always going to be there. When you close your door at night, they'll not be there with you. So don't make the decision because of other people, but make it for you. Yeah.
You know, one time, you remind me, I pushed my sister into breaking up with someone. Before I know it, they are back together.
Why do you
Before
do
I know
it?
it, she's updating status. No monkey will separate.
You are the monkey.
I was the monkey.
You deserve it. Why did you push her to break up?
No, some partners are
It's
Not
so useful.
It's not your decision.
See, remember in the committee, every girl has a committee. You go and ask to see, give me advice.
Advice, but don't push.
Bring
That
back.
is-
Get your opinion, but don't.
My advice will push you into a certain decision. Of course, I will not tell you that
You will
go and-
bias.
Hey, I bias you into doing it for your own good.
Yeah.
You know, like some men are toxic.
But it's still her
So
decision. You
now,
get.
so like, okay, as you're advising, I'm also just putting it on a side. As you're advising people, put it in mind that it is possible they could get back.
Yeah.
I mean, you become the mark.
Like you did.
No, that's true. But ultimately, I think as you consider going back, you need to know that you definitely have to put in work. It's not easy. It's not the same as a fresh new relationship. You know each other, you know your weaknesses. So you're probably going to have to put in a lot more work. But if you feel like it's the best decision for you and you have more to gain than to lose, then go for it. Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope that you relate to it. If there's any advice you'd like to share with our friends who may be going through this, please drop it down in the comment section. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel and share the video in all your circles. Thank you to HD Media that shot and produced the video. But also,
Would you go back to your ex?
Would you?
Would you?
would you?
Would you consider
Tell us in the comment section below with reasons.
Don't even think about it. Don't go to your ex.
Bye.
Bye.